What's going on, everybody? Sid the Nerdy Mark here. Welcome to the Wednesday edition of Mental Health Monday. Um, just, I had a lot of things planned for this week, but literally nothing that I wanted to do went as planned. And that's because I spent most of this week just completely sleeping. No, seriously, like I'd come back from work and, I would want to take like a half an hour nap, but it would turn into like an hour long sleep basically. And so because of that, I was just been lazy, but things just didn't go as planned. And I guess that's kind of what I want to talk about. We all have plans in our lives. And it's kind of the main reason why I didn't record a Mental Health Monday on Monday. It was because I recorded it. It's because I really didn't know what to talk about, frankly. I mean, I know I said I'd turn on the camera and just start talking, but I didn't really have anything to talk about. Well, first thing I will say is, I did, as you can see, I don't know if you can see it up here, but, if you can see on the Band-Aid, I did get my COVID vaccine, my first one. My second one is due in May. But here's the thing. It didn't feel too bad. I don't have a lot of pain. My arm was sore for a little bit, but I'm okay. But here's the thing though, even then, it wasn't planned, but I was supposed to be scheduled to go at a certain time, but around the afternoon, they actually called me. They said, "Hey, you can come in a little earlier." And I was like, "Okay, cool. I'll go get my shot and I'll come back." Now, my mom, she had already gotten her first shot, and since they're saying that I could go earlier, she said, "Why don't we schedule, the first, my shot, my second shot, and your sister's first shot because she hasn't gotten it yet." And I'm not gonna lie, I was so stuck in my ways. See, I'm like that. I've been like that, and that's something that I'm trying to work on as well. Is like trying to understand that just because something doesn't go as you planned it, it doesn't mean it's always a bad thing. At the end of the day, something good came out of it, but I was a little bit reluctant to do it because, for me, just making phone calls and, trying to find loopholes and squeezing people in. I mean, I don't know. I just don't want to do it. And it's not because I'm lazy. I'm just thinking at the end of the day, oh, what is this other person going to say? What is that person over the phone? Are they going to, just be mad at me? And I feel like maybe that's why I have always been a certain way. I've always been just kind of stuck in my ways. If I don't do it, if something, something doesn't happen the way I want it to happen, I feel bad about it because, oh, it didn't go as planned, and, because, what are other people going to think? I mean, I've always talked about how I don't care about what other people think of me, especially when it comes to making content. You really can't think about what other people are thinking about you, because if you let that dictate the type of content you make, you're probably not going to be around on YouTube for very long, right? But anyway, I think that when you just kind of go with the flow, but then today I just realized that what, no problem, and then no problem, because see, I had that happen, but at the end of the day, with that vaccine thing, I finally got my mom's second shot done, so she's fully vaccinated, and my sister, she's got her first shot. So me and her, we're gonna be getting our second shot together, and it's gonna be it's gonna be all good, right? So we got that all done earlier, and I guess the thing is, if there's an opportunity for you to go and do something, and it's not just with the vaccine. If there's an opportunity that arises that comes maybe a little earlier than you planned, just go ahead and take it, And what does this, by the way, what does this have to do with mental health? I'll talk about that in a sec. But the thing is, what I've been trying to do is just kind of go with the flow and be more flexible with everything going on. I don't want to just say, oh, I'm going to be stuck in my ways, and if it doesn't happen a certain way, it's not right. Because that's just not the way to think. It's just really isn't the way to think, and it really isn't a way to live, you know? So I'm still working on that. Don't worry. I'm not perfect. And how does this affect your mental health? Well, it's because you bring about unnecessary stress in your mind. And stress is definitely a killer. Um, Stress is kind of things that may lead you to bad habits. The stress can lead you to um, overthinking, and finally, like I said, lead you to take some, worst case scenario, you may take some regrettable actions, right? So my whole thing is, I I have been trying my best to just simply, yeah, have a kind of pathway as to how I want to go to that destination, but I can be flexible with how I get there if I can get there faster. Like it's like a GPS, right? Your GPS may tell you to take a certain way, like whether it's Google Maps, Waze, whatever. But if you know that, oh, this I can just I know a quicker way, you don't have to necessarily listen to the GPS, right? You can honestly just shut it off and say, okay, I know how to go from here, boom, and you're on your way. And that's kind of what it's all about. When you are such a stickler for sometimes, people are such sticklers for the rules. And like I said, I've been like that before. I'm still sometimes like that. And I've learned that it, like I said, puts on unnecessary stress in your mind when you are trying to strictly adhere to the rules. And that's that. I mean, and I'm not saying you should go and break rules and you should not obey the law. But here's the thing: rules are just guidelines. If you're doing something that is not illegal or unethical, but it's not like exactly a straight and narrow path, it's still okay, because either way, you're reaching your goal and you're getting the job done. So it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. I mean, like I said, as long as it's ethical and legal, go for it, right? So, I mean, the thing is, like, when unnecessarily stress, when you put yourself in stressful situations, that's really when it really gets you. Like I said, stress is a killer, man. It really is. Um, Stress, because I'm always, and the thing is, it comes for me. It stems from, what will this other person think if I try to, try to not strictly follow the guidelines that are given. And the thing is, you're trying to get to your goal. Why does it matter, right? So that's just kind of how I think. Now, I the only reason I talk about this is because, one, that's all I kind of have for you, and two, like I said, this last week it did teach me a lesson. This whole COVID thing, so getting the COVID vaccine with my mom and my sister, it taught me something. It's like, look, if there's a way, just learning to maximize your results, with the given time that you have, right? That's what I was trying to do. And the thing is, I didn't strictly follow every single guideline to the T. I had to, kind of go around it a little bit. I didn't necessarily have to break the rules or bend the rules. I just didn't have to follow them to the T, because, apparently if I don't, lightning is going to strike me and I'm going to die, right? That's not going to happen, right? And that's the thing. Like, and a lot of times, by the way, these mental health Mondays, a lot of them are sometimes for me, sometimes I should go back and watch my own words, right? But yeah, I mean, I hope this helped you, so just relax, just go with the flow. Sometimes, you don't need to always, be a certain way to get what you want. You can get it in your own way, if that makes sense, But listen, I have a bit of a schedule too this week. I will do my best to put it out on time, but if I don't, just please understand, okay? Again, just go with the flow, okay? But I do plan to do another Nerdy Mark wrestling show this week. I'll be talking NXT TakeOver Stand and Deliver. I'll be talking the fallout for WWE NXT. Fallout of Stand and Deliver, that happened this Tuesday. I'll be talking about this week's AEW Dynamite, my quick thoughts on WrestleMania, and I want to talk a little bit about the Broken Skull sessions with Chris Jericho, because I thought it was a really good session, and I listened to the whole 2 hours, and I thought it was really good. So I want to talk a little bit about it. And then sometime this weekend, Baki, the Grappler Baki Ultimate Fighter, that review will be up sometime this weekend, and we'll kind of go from there. Because Mania week was a little crazy, and again, things just didn't go as planned, and it's kind of spilling over to this week. So it got me a little stressed until I just decided to step back and say, look, you know what? Things are gonna happen. Just go with it, right? Like, I didn't even get to work out this whole week. I barely got any workout, any sort of exercise in this week. But you know what? Whatever, it's fine. Maybe I needed to just take the rest this week. Maybe I needed that just after last week's craziness. I don't know. But anyway, don't put yourself in situations. Don't unnecessarily put yourself in situations that will lead to more stress, because stress can cloud your judgment, and it can make you think dangerous thoughts, which can lead to dangerous actions for you or for someone else. Just think about that. But with that, thank you for watching another Mental Health Monday. I'll see you guys next week.